shovel across my knee. Went to work for the company and the leads to sell me rail.
Yeah, I'm not in the workshop today. This is a totally different sort of video. So I'm pinching a format from Jeff Buy Cars. It's a YouTube channel that I watch from time to time because he's quite funny. So I'm parked up on a lay-by in my van, doing the intro from there. Now normally in YouTube you save the summary and the punchline to the end of the video because you want people to watch to the end. But please watch to the end anyway, and I'm just going to tell you stuff at the beginning. Now, this isn't a typical wood turner's tool, but when you're picking up bits of log, they're wet, full of insects and mud, and it rather ruins the carpet in your Bentley, because all wood turners drive Bentleys or better. So a van kind of counts as part of the toolkit. Now, I used to have a smaller van. I had a Fiat Scudo, which was a 2005 model. Extremely good. No heating, rattled and banged. The seat was collapsing, but it did me for several years, and it was good. And I got all the timber I wanted into it without a problem. Even brought my lathe back from Grantham in it, which it's a fair old trip in a van that was that uncomfortable. But I've started to do a few demonstrations a little bit further from home, and driving around at sort of 10, 11 o'clock at night, I wanted something a bit better, something more reliable, something more comfortable, and so I bought this Vivaro, which is slightly bigger. The square back means that I was a bit uncomfortable with reversing and stuff. So I wanted a reversing camera on it. And it's got sensors. The sensors are good. They'll get you to... the solid beep comes on at 6 inches away. So they're good. But if I'm in a shopping car park and there's people walking back behind the van, there's a long distance, I can't see that they're there. So I wanted a camera. And various other reasons as well. I don't like denting my garage door any more than I have to, you know. Now you can get these in pure Chinesium for very little money. So I went researching what I could get. And the cheapest format, it's just a screen that you prop up on the dashboard, connected to a camera. You power up both ends and connect a wire between them. Trouble with a screen that's loose on the dashboard is it encourages people to smash your windows and take it away with them. They don't know that it's not an iPad or whatever from the outside. They just smash your windows and take it, or even worse, smash your windows, sneer at it and leave it there, but you've still got a smashed window. So the inclination then is to take it out of the van or put it in the glove box when you park, which means next time you come to reverse, it's in the glove box or possibly in the hallway at home, because I'm copious at that. Slightly more expensive, you can get one that goes up where the rear view mirror goes, and it sort of fits up there as if it was a rear view mirror, and that's quite discreet. But very fractionally more expensive than that, you can get one that fits in the dashboard where the radio is. And putting one in the dashboard where the radio is means you've got to replace the radio functionality, obviously, because if you're driving for a long way, you want some music or whatever you want to listen to. So yeah, you need something to replace the radio. So you start looking at a different category. You get an Android head unit, they call it, which effectively is an Android tablet that bolts into your dashboard, and it's got GPS and everything else built into it. And it's the same as a modern car with a screen in it, basically. But it's only a few pounds more to do that, and I thought, let's do that. So I went on to YouTube, as you do, looked up some reviews and fitting instructions, found out something about them. Then I went online, where to buy them from. Found AliExpress was the cheapest by a long way. and I have bought from them once in the past, and it took a long time to arrive. But I used them for this, and everything arrived within 2 weeks. It was amazing. It's not quite Amazon same day delivery, but pretty damn quick. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I bought, because by the time you watch this, Android will be on 17 versions newer. All the hardware will be replaced with something different, just generically. Mine's actually an Android 13. I bought it as an Android 12, it arrived as Android 13. Now DAB is a thing in the UK, it's not a thing in a lot of the world. So that isn't built in. So I bought a DAB USB radio tuner. I then had to go and buy an adapter cable to fit the van's aerial system. And then, because I was looking around, the camera, this head unit from Ozeret, it comes with a camera, it comes with a microphone. Now the camera it came with is one of these little ones that bolt in just above the number plate. But whilst I was browsing, I saw one that goes where the rear brake light is, and that one had LEDs around it, so you've got night vision, which I thought was worth having. It also comes with GPS and FM built into it, and it comes with 4G, so you can put a SIM card into it and it will have a internet connection, permanent, but obviously you've got to pay for the SIM card. I'm not going to be using that. What I will do is I will set my phone up as mobile internet, mobile hotspot rather, and connect to that as and when I need to do it. If you want to use the onboard internet as a security feature, or you are working close to the van all day and you want to use it as your hotspot for your phone, then it might be worth your while, but for me it's not. Anyway, my priority is not to lose the radio. My secondary priority was to have a reversing camera that worked, and then an added bonus was a built-in GPS. So there's extra functions available on these things, and you'll use what you use. One thing I wish I'd done before I place any orders is take the radio out and have a look. So I'm going to take the radio out now and show you the back of the radio, because that might help you down the line. Okay, so if I'd have taken the radio out before I started shopping, I would have seen these connectors. Now the system I bought was for a Vivaro, so it comes with the fascia, and more importantly it comes with a CAN bus, which takes these two plugs and then translates them into the back of the unit. This one and this one are your two aerial connections. One's the FM, one's the digital audio. And this one is a micro USB, and that gives you the USB built into the dash. I didn't know about that until too late, and to be honest, I could have sorted it. I didn't. Just zoom in on it for you. You can see in there, actually it's a mini USB female. I'll put a link down into what you can search on eBay to find an adapter for that to fit the USB cable that comes with this head unit, and you just literally connect that to the USB cable, and you then retain the one on the dashboard. I'm not totally sorted on it yet. Turn the fan off. So it starts up. The GPS that comes with it, I drove to the local supermarket, I set it to my home, and it took me the wrong way. It would have got me home, but it was determined to stick to A roads, and there was a B road that it wanted to avoid, that I would normally use. So it took me the wrong way. It would have been okay, and it would probably suit most functions, but I'm playing with different ones. At the moment I've got Waze installed, So this is an Android tablet, so you can install anything you want. So I've got Waze installed, and the downside of that, it needs an internet signal to set your destination. Once your destination is set, it downloads the necessary maps and uses them. So to get home again, all you've got to do is say home, and you don't need an internet connection. So the Wi-Fi works to my house from my driveway. So I've got an internet connection at the house. And I've got a hotspot on my phone, so I can set that up when I'm away. So I can solve that problem. But this isn't necessarily my final GPS system. We'll figure that out over time. Comes with this one. Go into the factory, and the code is 48. And you get into the settings. It comes without this set, but you'll get an email when you buy a system telling you what to set it to. And it's set it to High World, Opal, Vivaro, and then year 15. It's a 16 range, but it's the same. Yourself to the steering wheel, so all the buttons on the steering wheel you can set up on it. I haven't figured that out yet, but it does the volume control and all the rest of the default ones. That all works out of the box. But you could use the steering wheel study, and you can set the buttons up to suit what you want. A smart car radio, which is an Android tablet effectively built in place of the radio, which also gives me a screen for reversing camera. Now I partially assembled this. This plastic bit comes separate, and I've got some mounting screws, and I've mounted it. I'm not going to bother to take it apart and show you it because it's ever so easy. And I put the cables in the back. Apologies if I get in the way of the camera. I'm starting off on the near side rear door. Just taking the wood paneling off. I picked up from Amazon these bits of plastic, which are supposed to help me get these trims off without breaking them too much. So let's give that a go. So yeah, that's off relatively easy. The high brake light, which is what I'm replacing with the camera. You undo these two screws. You drop a wire down. And you go through this hose into here, and then one's got to go all the way to the front, and one connects to the reversing light. So there you have the one that came off and the one's going back on. They should all match up. Switch the bulb over and go back on the original wire for that, and then away you go. Only problem is this wire isn't long enough to come all the way down to here, which is annoying. Getting it down through this bit, weight on a piece of string should do the job, but I'm going to have to connect it to the extension wires before I do that, or it won't reach, which we'll do now. Right, the wire is in, not fully in yet. I'll show you why in a minute. How do I achieve it? Basically an old fishing weight on a piece of string, plumb line effectively. It doesn't go easily. You've got to sort of fiddle it about till you get it to drop down through. Then you attach the 10-metre wire to the end of the piece of string and pull that through. Now the power wire is obviously shorter because it's only going to go as far as the reversing light. So just be sure that when you've got that in, you tape the two together. And I have also taped up the connections. Probably unnecessary, but I know me quite well, and I'm just the sort of person that would just give it an extra tug and the connection will come undone after it's all installed. So I've taped them up to try and stop that happening. Right, there is no easy way of doing this as far as I can tell. Getting the wire from here, this grommet's been put back in but it was removed, up to here was difficult. What I used was a piece of copper wire that I pulled off of a cable, so it's nice stiff copper wire. Work that through and then use that to pull the other wire through. It has taken a number of hours and caused injury. It's not easy. There are proper tools for that. I haven't got one. Might be worth trying to see if you can borrow one. But other than that, it's in, it's there. And I've got another problem. That's the end of my cable which needs to go to the reversing light. It's too short. Now I could have taken a different route and been 4 inches longer, it would still be too short. So I don't quite know what to do with that. Well, I do know what to do with that. I'm going to connect it to another piece of wire and extend it. But what the proper solution is, I've no idea. Okay, so now we need to get this strip off. So we're back to our Amazon pry bar kit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to film this. I'll try it, but I think it's going to be edited out because it's dark up here. These Amazon pry bars, they're not impressing me. They're too soft. But well, I can say I spent a couple more quid on that than I did. There's a rivet type thing just here. I can get underneath, but then the pry bar just bends, so it's pretty useless really. No, don't buy these. I'm not going to run and record this because I know my head's in the way and I can't, I've got no light up there. So I'll just tell you you've got to get that strip off. Now, according to what I've read, the grey wire here is enough to power the camera and not mess up the CAN bus. So I've connected to the grey wire, I've connected the black wire to earth with just a ring terminal on a screw to the chassis. I'm going to temporarily leave that P connector on there. If it all works, I'll take that apart and redo it with a solder connector. But until I get the front end in, I've got no way of testing. So for now, that'll do. I'll just tack it back together and then see how we get on later. Easy. So the 4 torque screws here. Should ball container to put the screws in. In theory, that just slides out. It does indeed. That's the first time I've seen inside here. 2 aerials here. Not sure what that is. Could be the USB and then your standard powers. So we see how we match that up with what we got here. So I pulled the door rubber off. Just pulled this headliner down a bit, and I fed the camera cable all the way down here. Took this panel off using the trim removal tools. Find it a sec. So there's the panel with 1 clip, 2 clips, 3 clips, and they're all towards the bottom. That won't come off until the door rubber's off, because these bits, I'll find it now. There you go. These bits slide into the back behind the door rubber. So door rubber off, and then prise those 3 clips out and it'll come off, in theory. There is a possibility there's 4 clips because it might be missing 1 clip from the bottom. Second-hand van, who knows. Right, then I'm coming through the fuse box. And there's an opening on the end of the fuse box, and I've managed to get my piece of copper wire, which is just the earth strip ripped out of a cable, in through there. It's coming out through the radio hole. So now I can attach my cables to it and pull them through. I say cables because I've got 2 aerials as well. There's a GPS aerial which I have just stuck there because I'm told that the GPS is stuck to a piece of metal. It is good, so it's there. And the 4G aerial, which is probably never going to be used, but I will install it whilst I'm here, which I will stick to the screen when I get round to it. I'll get there shortly. But routing cables through, if I take these through the back now with this copper wire, all the cables that I need coming into the radio will be there. So, next step. Okay, this bit is faked. Reality is, there's like a button that changes camera from front to back. And when I recorded this in real time, I must have pressed that button because I got half an hour of the back of the seat. Because I'm using that tripod stuck in the headrest there to film the centre of the dash. So I've taken it out again and I'm going to pretend to do it. So in the back there, I've got a torch shining on it to give some light. That's my DAB USB, and that's just self-adhesives on the back. Now there was some chat about which the brown or the white aerial cable was DAB and which was FM, and I couldn't come up with an answer. But somebody said it was brown for DAB and white for FM, and I'll be honest, I've tried it both ways round and they both work. So because somebody said brown and white, I've gone with brown for DAB. No idea if that's correct or not. Now I've got one complaint against this Osret. The radio hole is a standard 180mm wide. The bit that needs to go into that hole on the Osret, only for a short distance, is 210mm wide. So I've had to take a Dremel and just hack away these edges, 10mm off of each side, to get it in there. It's only ABS plastic, and I've used a Dremel and it's pretty much melted its way through it. But slight oversight. I have tried to send a message, and I don't think I can. But if anybody from Osret is ever watching this video, you're too wide. Can you make them fit, please? We'll come on to a bit more on that in a bit. Right, so CAN bus is connected to the original radio wires. I'm not going to be bothering about tidying up these wires. There's camera cables, aerial cables, all sorts going on here. But I've got a big plastic box which is now going to be empty, and they can all get stuffed in there out of the way. The other question I have for Osret, and I don't know the answer, is a microphone built into the headlining of this van, which did connect somehow or another to the old system. Is it connected to the new one? If so, why do they include a microphone? I don't know the answer. I did make a phone call to my wife without plugging the replacement microphone in, and it worked. But there's a microphone in the front of the unit, so it might have been that working. Who knows? Anyhow, I'm going to switch you to the other position. Hopefully not film the back of the seat, and put the unit in. I've made this wider. Good tip. Don't fit the screen on until you've made that hole. Just use the back plate on its own, get that right, and then attach the screen and go from there. Just pick the back plate first, get all that right, and then come and do this. And it literally just clips in. Get all your cables stuffed into the hole properly, get everything lined up, and just push the clips into place. If you look around the edge, you can see that it's nice and snug and in place, not going anywhere, until somebody comes along with a pry bar and takes it off again, which hopefully won't happen. I don't know about other manufacturers. I would be very happy to test some different screens, some different systems, but I'm not going to. I've got one. That's all I'm going to need to set up. I would prefer if this screen was a bit smaller. And the way they measure these is across the active screen, which tells me that this is a 10 1/4 inch screen, which would have fitted inside the plastic trim. But then you've got this 3/4 inch of border around all the edge of it, which means it doesn't fit inside the plastic trim. A smaller screen would be fine. A smaller screen would fit in neater and still give you plenty of screen space. So that would have been nicer. As for functions, it works. I mean, I've shown a bit of this already. Radio comes on, whatever you left it on comes on. You can obviously go and pause it, but and you can change the volume, but it comes on. Anyhow, this is a slightly different screen to what I showed you at the intro. It's just a different screen layout. You can choose several. This one puts my GPS here, my radio, my time. Doesn't give me the weather, but that wasn't working anyway. And I've got windows all around me, I can see the weather. Long ways, still playing with that as the sat nav. I think that probably is the one I'll stick with. And I've changed. I'm using VLC to play my music track from the memory. So I've got some albums stored on it. And if I go to VLC, it does do video as well, but I'm not showing videos, I'm just looking at music. So I've got some albums on here. You can scroll through them and pick an album.
Hey, I can't find nothing on the radio.
Oop. Pause. Can't be playing music.
I'll turn to that station.
Shh. I've installed Nav Radio. It gives you nice, clear, easy buttons to choose from. Choose your radio station. It's a good tuner. It works off the built-in FM tuner, so it's just a display really. It does work off the steering wheel buttons. Hopefully that's a small enough amount of noise to get past YouTube. And it comes up here telling you what's playing. Reality is I probably have the map on full screen most of the time. Right, so that's it basically. You just shove it all in the hole. I'm impressed with it. It does its job. I really like the reversing camera screen. That's really good. In the dark, you've got a very clear image with the lights off the thing, so it works well. And that's a lot, really.